Hello and welcome to today's video, and today we're talking egg butt bits. And this is an egg butt. Now what makes an egg butt? Well, look at it. It's not exactly round and it has a nice long part right here. Now the reason why I like an egg butt rather than just a circle bit sometimes is there's no pinchy here. It's nice, even, lays flat on the side of the horse's mouth. Now this one is a copper mouthpiece. You can see that helps with salivation, but it's also a snaffle with two or a single joint. Okay, so when you pull, it isolates it on either side of the bar. Now here's the other bit. Now this is also, you could actually say this was close to a D, but I would still call this an egg butt type bit. And this is a two-piece jointed bit or a three-part bit. And what this does is it kind of holds it at the top of the tongue, and then you can isolate either side. So these are two types of egg butt bits that we're going to be using today. Now we're going to be riding in these Western, but of course you can use this English, and we're going to try these on two different horses, both 10-year-old geldings, and for retrain purposes. Right, so this is the three-piece egg butt, and I have it over here on Miracle. And as you can see, if you look from the top, it should be even on either side. Now I'm making it very light on his mouth, and the reason why I'm using this one on Miracle is because he has a softer mouth, and he really isn't used to the bit as much as Boyo is. So it's a thicker bit, and I also just have a standard pair of roping reins on him. And we're going to be using this because he's got a much more sensitive mouth. And now I'd like to show you what the three-piece or Muller egg bit does in action. Now, first things first, no matter what you do, when you first start out, you want to make sure that your horse will give to the least amount of pressure possible. That's your thumb and your forefinger right here. Reach up, ask, and pull, and when you do, release. Now, you don't have to release that big, but pull and release. Now, if you only have to use that thumb and forefinger, that means that this horse is already responding very well to that bit. Now, let me get over here on the other side for you, and we get to a point where you can see this. All right, so same exercise. Easy. I want him to give, and there we go. And release. Come on. Back it up. Back it up. Back. As you can see, I only have to put a very, very light bit of pressure on to get him to respond. I'm holding this up so you can see it. All I have to do is basically pull back and say, back, and see how he already tucks his nose to that little bit of pressure, back out down here, a little bit of pressure. So I would say with him, this little bit of a bit really gets a nice response. I haven't had to ask for more than a little bit. Now when I'm asking him to walk forward, the main thing I want him to do is to be able to give me his nose. And another good test is a spiral down to a one-rein stop. So this is going to be on my left side. So I'm gradually going to ask him to stop by pulling in and whoa. And see how he stopped, gave me his head. That's great. That means he's really responding well to this particular bit. So again, we're going to use the spiral down to the one-rein stop as a good way to bit test and see how well that he's responding. Again, we are going to spiral down, smaller, and ask for the stop, and whoa. Very good. So if you'd like to see more rides with him, check out some of our other playlists. Alrighty, so I just put the traditional egg butt snaffle over here in Boyo's mouth, and we need to make sure that it is even, and it looks like it's even. Now he's already playing with it. He hasn't had a bit in his mouth in a while, but his owners had always just used him with a bit, although it was a slightly different bit than this, and so that's why we're giving it a try today. Boyo in a traditional egg butt bit, and we're just seeing how well he's responding to it. And the first thing that I'm doing is just asking him to give me his head, spiral down to a one-rein stop, and you can tell he already does not like it. we go. He did give, but he's still kind of gapping. See, he's moving his head around. And I'm asking him to give. Now, he gave with just a minimal amount of pressure, but he's still really chewing on the bit a lot, which is something I'm not liking. Now, I have been riding him bitless. This is part of his tune-up training, is to make sure that he can move and do all of this on anything that I choose. Of course, now he's pooping. Now we're asking him to give on either side. As you can see, he's not giving quite nearly as well. Come on. And I'm just using thumb and forefinger. There we go. I'm going to try to get it over here for you to see a little bit. Back, 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 back. Come on. Back up, back up, back up. All right. Ooh. Now let me get in position. Reaching forward. Just going to ask him to give his head. There we go. Good. And just giving him a nice release. Now he's just mouthing around on the bit. And then back up here to the other side. Now back, back, back. Back. Okay. Now I'm going to ask him to give. Now that was a lot nicer. I pulled up a lot higher than I really should. I need to keep my hand down. There we go. As you can see, he's not giving as quite as well as I would like. He's just kind of fighting it a little bit. Come on. There we go. And he did finally give. There we go. Now, our exercise that we always do to check and see if we have brakes and how well they respond is a spiral down to a one-rein stop, and let's see how Boyo does. So, smaller, smaller, smaller circle, and whoa! Oh, he pulled back. Ooh, good boy. Yeah, that wasn't very good. So let's try over here. And a spiral down to a one-rein stop, and now he did give, but it was kind of ugly. And he's kind of starting to relax. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of trotting exercises and such with him. But I'm not all convinced that this is the best bit for him, so I'm going to keep trying on some other things. I would like him to respond a little bit faster and not have to put hardly any pressure on it. And also this thing that he's doing right now where he's kind of moving his mouth around, he doesn't like it as much. So let's see what he does in a three-piece bit. Well, thank you so much for joining me on today's video. And if you enjoyed the video, please give us a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And remember, if you want to see more, check out our playlists.